From 7 to 9, you got something coming at you.
It's The Morning Show. So don't forget to check out The Morning Show every weekday, 7 to 9 a.m.
Join me, Matt Connarton, weekdays, 4 to 6 p.m. live for a discussion about politics where we put aside labels like liberal and conservative and have a discussion about truth and what's really happening in the world.
This hour on WMNH is proudly sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 171 Londonderry Turnpike in Hooksett. Serving all your employee benefits planning, design and administration, investment and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. They are available at 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
You are listening to WMNHLP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Contact us by email at WMNH953@gmail.com or through our website at WMNHradio.org.
Trump. 6. Flip. Cuckoo. Huckabee. Mueller.
And now, low energy Randy Rainbow in his stupid rendition of the cell block Django. No collusion.
Trump. 6. Flip. Huckabee. Mueller. Trump. 6. Huckabee. Mueller. Trump. 6. Mueller. They had it coming. They had it coming. They were the best that he could find. And then you guessed it. They got arrested. And now he's losing his freaking mind. Trump. 6. Mueller. The greatest witch hunt in history has dropped houses on 6 of the president's personal associates. So far. Including Roger Stone, who's been indicted on multiple charges, including lying, obstructing justice, witness tampering, and lacking basic fashion sense. 6. Before Roger came Mike Flynn, George Papadopoulos, and Rick Gates. Then on the same day Michael Cohen pleaded guilty, Donald Trump's campaign chairman Paul Manafort was convicted on 8 felony counts, only because on the other 10 counts the jury was hung. And incidentally, the only thing in that sentence that will ever be described as hung. They had it coming. They had it coming. They got real Machiavellian. Look it up. Just wait and see next. Who will it be next? Oh God, I'll laugh if it's Kellyanne. Trump. 6. You know how people have these little habits that get you down? Like cracking their knuckles or implicating you in a criminal conspiracy to mislead the American people in order to influence an election? DT hates that. So it's no wonder that he's violated Title 18 United States Code 1512 by intimidating witnesses like his former fixer who's already cooperating with the feds. And there's no telling who might flip on Donald next. Flip. Thank God he can at least count on the loyalty of his longtime pal Roger Stone, who swears he would never do his boo like that. And I mean, imagine a fine, upstanding, delusional rat bastard con artist and self-described dirty trickster who dresses like a Dick Tracy villain and idolizes Richard Nixon going back on his word in an act of self-interest? I mean, I really wouldn't worry about it, Donald. He has it coming. He has it coming. He better find a hiding place. He's changing color as here comes Mueller. At least his jumpsuit will match his face. Oh, it's lonely being individual one these days. Even his own wife is starting to turn on him. Luckily, he has the genuine support of true and unbiased sycophantic media whores. Like Giuliani. Cuckoo. And press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Sarah, let's cut the Huckabee. This is now the 6th person directly connected to the president in the Mueller investigation. What is your reaction? Are you scared? You look scared.
real simple. This has nothing to do with the president and certainly nothing to do with the White House.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure you guys are totally fine.
She has it coming, they have it coming, while Giuliani's cracking jokes. As was predicted, they'll be convicted. Mueller, is it collusion or just a hoax?
President Trump is absolutely right. This is a witch hunt.
The dirty bum, 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 the dirty bum, 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 bum. He has it coming, she has it coming, they have it coming, she has it. Wait, just let Melania go free. Girl's been through enough, but she's complicit, so she'll just visit. I hope for her sake, not conjugally. Trump 6 Lip Cuckoo Huckabee Mueller.
No collusion.
I know, baby.
Who cares about the starving people that you see in the street each day? Who cares about the starving people that you see in the street each day? I wanna dance, 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 dance to the radio. I wanna dance, 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 dance to the radio. Who cares about the starving people that you see in the street each day? Who cares about the starving people that you see in the street each day? I wanna dance, 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 dance to the radio. I wanna dance, 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 dance to the radio. Turn the radio on. Turn the radio on. Turn the radio on. Turn the radio on. Who cares about the starving people that you see in the street each day? Who cares about the starving people that you see in the street each day? I wanna dance, 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 dance to the radio. I wanna dance, 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 dance to the radio. Turn the radio on. Turn the radio on. Turn the radio on. Turn the radio on.
Very, very large brain. He said Donald Trump, they don't know what to do. Never happened.
Says who?
This being made ain't working out the way I thought it would. A lot of responsibilities.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Matt Connarton, Unleashed in the Afternoon. We are live on WMNH 95.3 FM, emanating from downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, streaming at WMNHradio.org. Of course, you can also find WMNH on the TuneIn app, so you can take us wherever you go on your mobile device easily and effortlessly. We're on Channel 97 Comcast if you're in the Manchester area, and, of course, on Facebook via Facebook Live on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And I am not alone here in the studio. Eric Gagnon is with us.
Well, hello, everybody.
Well, hello, Eric. Also in the Facebook live chat, I see Derek Relaford in there. Hello, Derek. Fred Bonig from the dailyripple.org. He is back from his vacation. Hi, Fred. Jeff Scumpy Lorenz is in there. Oh, I see Jenny in there as well. And I see Chris Rose. The number to call, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. It is Monday, January 28th, 2019. John Hopwood is in the Facebook live chat and says, is that virtual Eric? That is actually, unless you're some sort of hologram, sir, which you could be. How would I know? I mean, with modern technology, you could be a hologram. You could be a cyborg.
No, I'm the real thing.
You are the real thing, aren't you? That U2 song, that's about you, isn't it? Even better than the real thing. That's what you. How's that, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty good, huh? Now I have an obvious question for you, Eric. So apparently, this morning you were not on the morning show.
No, I couldn't make it. No.
And in your absence,
I know.
Now I like Ryan Gorman. I like him very much. He was on my show Friday. We had a great time with him.
Oh, really?
Great guy. Yes, I consider him a good friend. Very, very talented, very funny man. But he was on the morning show, Eric, and he did, in fact, do his own entertainment report.
Yeah, I saw it. I heard it.
As much as I like him, I have to say in this particular instance, I feel he is an interloper. He is a usurper. You, sir, have been usurped and loped. How do you feel about this?
Well, he did more of a national report. His was more
right.
More of a down and dirty. I kind of keep it clean.
Right. His was down and dirty.
I keep it local.
In what way was it down and dirty? What do you mean by
that? It might have been true, though. He called Miley Cyrus a bad name.
Miley
I'm not
Cyrus.
going to repeat it.
No. On a show like this where we have a high standard, as you know, of
it may be true.
Well, it may be. I don't know, but to even speculate as such would be just terribly inappropriate. And
he can be inappropriate at times.
Who can be?
Ryan Gorman.
Well, yes. Now, but I am concerned that he has, in fact, it seems that he has taken your job. But there is a silver lining, Eric. That opens up the opportunity to finally officially become the entertainment reporter here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. And
I'm going to come by tomorrow morning and do a rebuttal at the table.
Well, I don't know if they'll have you, Eric. I mean, you may have been already pushed out. Like I said,
I don't think so.
You've been usurped and loped. John Hopwood in the Facebook live chat says, what does Eric think of Spike Lee getting an Oscar nomination? Is he anti-American? What say you, Eric Gagnon, entertainment reporter?
I don't really care about the Oscars.
Okay. And Jenny in the Facebook live chat says...
Nobody else does either.
No, well, apparently John Hopwood does.
According to the ratings the last couple of years.
Oh, yes. Jenny in the Facebook live chat says, I have a secret for Matt Connarton Unleashed listeners. Cool things are coming our way. My goodness. Cool things are coming your way, Eric Gagnon. It's like the song says. It's time for a cool change. Remember that song? I don't even remember who does it. That's a bit of bit AM light rock, but I think, and Eric, my offer stands. Whatever Peter is paying you, I will double it, and you can add a 0 on the end of it. That is my promise to you. Oh, Eric, you're so modest and humble, which I like that about you. But sometimes, Eric, you gotta really just put yourself out there, and you gotta stand up and say, I am the entertainment reporter.
I am the entertainment reporter.
Yes, very good. You said that.
He stood in for me for a joke today.
You have to say it with verve and vigor, which I think you did accomplish just now, and you even did the hand motion. Quite astonishing, actually. I'm almost intimidated, frankly. But yeah. So, well, what's going to happen if? All right, I think that I have an idea. What if, because I feel like you're not going to accept my offer. That's fine. My feelings aren't hurt. But I feel like you and Ryan Gorman, you might have to compete for the honor and the privilege of being the entertainment reporter on the morning show.
That's why I'm going to
with
come
Peter
tomorrow
White
and do my report. So see what they like.
I have a better idea. You, sir, should. You are Easy G after all. How about you and M Sizzle team up for a diss track?
Oh boy.
Yeah. See.
Oh boy.
Yes. No, I think M Sizzle's on hiatus for now. But those previous 2 diss tracks frankly, it took a lot out of him. But, plus MC Hammer is still lurking out there somewhere. It's a very dangerous time for M Sizzle. What do you think though? Like, should there be some sort of competition? Like, what if you like rappers? They have rap battles, you know. Comedians they do roast battles. What if you and Ryan Gorman live on the morning show or on this show were to do a entertainment report battle? What would you think about that?
Yeah, we could do that, I guess.
Really?
Mine tends to be more local, though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they tend to be. It just matters that yours is better than his. Do you feel, Eric? Do you feel that in your heart, in your soul, in your bones, that you are a better entertainment reporter and that you are untouchable? I'm trying to pump you up here. You are untouchable. You are second to none in your entertainment reporting.
Well, I've been told by many people out there. There's a lot of people out there.
There are a lot of people out there.
That I do a great job on the radio. People call me a star.
They do, yes.
And Peter's always saying, how come nobody walks up to me and calls me a star when I'm out there in the world?
Even the president says there's a lot of people out there.
Could be other people also. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, so you've got, it's as though you have the seal of approval of our president, Donald John Trump, which I think, if I may be so bold, and I don't mean to speak for our president, certainly, but it sounds to me that not only do you have his seal of approval, but I feel that your having his seal of approval gives you kind of a boost in credibility for your cause.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, everyone listening is like, well, if he's got Donald John Trump behind him, then I'm behind him as well. Although I wouldn't want to be standing behind Donald John Trump. He apparently eats copious amounts of fast food.
He does. He loves fast food.
He does,
He's one
yes.
of the healthiest presidents we've ever had.
Yes, according to his doctor, I believe he is the healthiest human in the history of the galaxy.
I don't believe it.
According to that gentleman. Are you questioning the health of our president, Donald John Trump?
I think he's a healthy guy, but I don't
yes,
think
clearly
he's the healthiest one.
Right. Do you think Obama was healthier? Obama had rippling muscles. I mean, look, I'm secure enough in my masculinity to say it. That picture of Obama at the beach, pretty impressive.
I know, I didn't see it, so can't comment.
You didn't see it?
No.
If you saw it, you'd be like, wow, look at those pecs. He had big pectoral muscles, that Barack Obama.
All right.
Yes. I don't use his middle name. I'll say Donald John Trump. I don't say Barack blank Obama because that gets people all nervous.
Did you hear now the Ronda Rousey after WrestleMania? She's gonna the rumor on the street is she's gonna take the time off. She wants to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have a baby. Well, you can't be pregnant in wrestling, so it's kind of a no.
Yeah. Do you remember? I forget what she was called in WWE. Her name was Awesome Kong.
Yes. Yes.
I forget what they called her in WWE. She was a different character, but she wrestled like one match, and then she had to take a break because she was pregnant, and she never came back. Never saw her again on WWE television. Because she actually announced it on the air. They tried to make it part of the storyline, even though it was real.
Right.
And then she was just gone forever. No more Awesome Kong.
Well, this seems to be her trait, though. She sticks around for a little while, then she leaves. So.
Who? Awesome Kong?
No, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, right. Maybe she'll go back and fight in UFC after she has a child.
I don't know.
Her and Travis Brown is the gentleman's name. Her husband.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes. Yes. They're going to settle. Well, there was all this. Actually, there was a lot of conflicting information about her contract. Like she at one point and the WWE were saying that she had signed a multi-year deal. They usually sign 3-year deals, but then Ric Flair, I think, let it slip that she'd only signed a 1-year deal.
Right.
And if it is in fact a 1-year deal, then
it's over the year now. So.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, obviously she's going to want that WrestleMania payoff.
Oh, who doesn't?
Right. I would. You know, I was a wrestler. I don't know if you've seen my Facebook posts. I was known as the Man of 1,000 Faces.
No.
Well, that was a different time in my life. But I
did see your post the other day about that. The best wrestling post when the guy was talking to one of the announcers.
Oh, are you talking about Jumpin' Jeff Farmer?
Yeah, I didn't see anything special about him.
You didn't see anything special about Jumpin' Jeff Farmer?
Was he somebody from the WWE or?
He was from like IPW or something, some organization I'd never heard of. Here, let me. Well, here I'll play it. Let me play it, and then you tell me.
I didn't think anything special about him.
You tell me why you don't think this man is special. Here, let's.
Earlier we talked to Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Let's go now to that interview.
He's still with us?
Folks, there's Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Jeff, a while back, what a match you had with Motley.
Yep. Probably the hardest match I ever had in my life. But I don't like it when things aren't going my way. Motley Cruz, you turn the tables on me. You turn the tables in a wrong way. You got me mad now. I've stood around. I've listened to everything you had to say. I did everything necessary. But when you turn around and you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry. Now I'm the one doing the challenging. I'm issuing a challenge to you, Motley Cruz. Get in the ring with me. This time, I'm going full force.
Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Now let's go to the ring.
What's not special about that?
How long ago was that?
That was, I believe, in the early 1980s. And
still
Eric,
with us?
I don't know, probably. He looked to be a very young man at that time. Eric, now that we've listened to that promo again, and by the way, in defense of Jumpin' Jeff Farmer, he's right. Motley Cruz, not only did he turn the tables on him, but he did, in fact, turn the tables in a wrong way, which is very upsetting. I think that in your battle to retain the reportership, the entertainment reportership on the morning show, which you clearly, your supremacy has been challenged by Mr. Ryan Gorman, I would suggest drawing inspiration from Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. I think just like Jeff Farmer, when you go in tomorrow, when you come here tomorrow morning to do that entertainment reporter, you should come in and do that entertainment report, and you should be going full force, just like Jumpin' Jeff Farmer.
He didn't seem like he was going too full force to me.
He was going full force.
Oh boy!
You could hear the passion in his voice, couldn't you?
No.
I mean, he was mad. Clearly.
Yeah, I was watching some Ring of Honor wrestling. You ever seen that?
Yes. Ring of Honor is great.
This guy came out the other day and he said, "I'm all done. I lost my match at the December pay-per-view." And he says, "I'm retiring. I'm done." And then the boss came out. I guess the guy in charge behind the scenes.
Yes.
They'll sign you another year contract. All right, yay. Then I guess the Darts Ready comes out, and you know what's going to happen then. Beat the living daylights out of him.
Oh my goodness.
Tail drive them with a chair. And you just saw that coming. You watch wrestling enough like I do.
Yes.
You saw that coming. Of course, now he's going to be back, and he's going to fight that guy in the next pay-per-view.
Yes.
So we set that up to the next one.
Well, I said in my Facebook post earlier, Eric, that when I was wrestling and I was known as the man of 1,000 faces, I once betrayed Hulk Hogan in a tag team match at Madison Square Garden. We were wrestling the Bolsheviks, Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov, and it has me concerned. It has me shook, as I believe the young people are saying now, that Robert Mueller is going to come knocking on my door because I colluded with Russians during that match. And now I've told you about it, so now you know about it, so you're probably going to get subpoenaed. You're probably going to get indicted. Do you have a giant tattoo of Richard Nixon on your back?
No.
Forgive me if that's too personal.
No.
I mean, you can be honest with me. It's just us talking.
I had a good laugh.
You told your folks that you were getting a tattoo of
Roger
Nixon?
Stone has one.
Oh,
back.
yes.
They chuckled. They were around, obviously, and the Nixon was around.
Do you think that that was a poor choice on Roger Stone's part? Or are you more of a live and let live kind of attitude regarding that?
I don't think anybody should get tattoos, but that's just my opinion.
You don't think anybody should get tattoos?
A friend of mine
Interesting.
got a big tattoo of a friend of hers daughter had died. It's like, wow.
Oh.
I don't like any tattoos because I feel if they do it wrong, you get some kind of horrible disease with needles. And,
right. I believe you get tattoo disease.
No, but
that's
the
a real
person
thing.
doesn't know what
How
they're
dare
doing.
you. Right. Well, that's why it's important to go to
I'm from the old school.
a tattoo artist.
I don't do tattoos and piercings.
Mm.
I know they do it down the street from Market Basket. You can get them anywhere in your whole body. It's like, okay, no thanks.
Well,
I walk by that side all the time. It's like, no, thank you.
You know what? I'm with you. I feel the same way. Let's organize a protest.
No, they can do what the hell the heck they want, but
do what the heck they want. What are you, some wild libertarian? You just want everybody to do whatever the heck they want? My goodness, you're all over the place.
They can
Eric.
do what they want, but I'm not going to do it.
Oh, right. I understand.
I'm for the old school.
Yeah. Actually, I have never had any tattoos or piercings.
Doesn't make it bad or anything.
This is true.
Doesn't make it people bad or anything.
This is a fact. I've never had a tattoo or a piercing, never had even so much the inclination, but I'm a musician. So for a musician to never have even so much of an earring is very unusual.
I know the, what's his face?
I'm a bit of an anomaly, as you might say.
The new guy for the Golden State Warriors. He has a ton of tattoos all over.
Golden State Warriors, is that some sort of team that does athletic competition? Basketball. I've never even heard of the Golden State Warriors.
They won the 3 out of 4 championships. They're like the Patriots of the basketball.
The Patriots of the... Oh, my goodness. I just know, like, the Celtics and whoever else. I don't know. I don't pay much attention to these things. I don't even know how many innings are in a basketball game.
Yeah, it's 4 quarters.
Okay, but then how many innings are in a quarter?
No
Answer me that one, smart guy, Mr. I know everything about baseball. Yeah, you don't know how many innings are in a quarter, do you? Yeah. All right. I think you've shown yourself to be insufficient in your knowledge of basketball, there, Eric. Shit. At least I have an excuse. I don't watch it. I mean, you profess to be some sort of expert. You should do a sports report during your entertainment report, and that'll give you the edge over Ryan Gorman.
Sometimes I throw some sports in there.
You do?
I do.
Well, you should do it more often.
Well, tomorrow's a big day in the Super Bowl, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow.
Oh, right.
It's a tease.
Oh. What are you going to... Can you give us a hint?
Well,
give us a tease of the tease?
Yeah, I'll have to listen tomorrow.
Oh. What if I'm not up yet? You have to understand, Eric. I don't get out of bed until 3:30 in the afternoon, and then I come here and do the show.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
I know, right? But I'm well rested.
I guess.
Yeah, and then after this, I'll go home and
take
take a nice long nap. So it's exhausting, Eric, being here. Don't you ever feel tired after being on the morning show? Don't you ever just leave here going, wow, that was exhausting?
Oh, it all depends who's in the room, I guess.
Aha. See? Yes. Now, okay, so tomorrow when you get back in the ring to do your entertainment report, will Ryan Gorman also be here?
But you never know with that guy who's showing up or not.
Here's what you do. I have a suggestion. And again, nothing against Ryan. I love Ryan. I consider him a great friend. But here's what I would do if I were you, because this isn't about friendship. This is about holding on to your position. If he's here, I would walk over to him, and I would just kind of glare at him. Not menacingly, not threateningly, but just kind of a knowing look that says, yeah, I got this, buddy. You're not usurping and interloping here. I got this.
Yeah, he came in one day with a wig on.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, I know he
called him
did.
on it, and he said, "Oh no, I'm not wearing no wig, Eric."
I know he did, and this is why. This is why I believe, Eric, that you will in fact be able to retain your supremacy in this matter, because you don't need to wear a wig to do an entertainment report. You just come in with your natural hair. You don't need to resort to gimmicks and tricks.
Well, if you heard the show today, boy, Peter Wright really threw him under the bus today. His buddy Ryan Gorman.
Threw Ryan under the bus?
Talked about all his personal issues. I'm not going to bring him up.
Oh. Did it make you?
Because I really want to know. And Ryan just told everybody what it was. I couldn't believe it. It's like, what?
But did it make you a little sad in a way, like oh, he used to embarrass me that way?
He tries to get into my deep dark secrets, but some of them I won't reveal on the radio.
You have some deep dark secrets, don't you?
I do, but I won't reveal 100% what happened, because some of that stuff is personal.
Did you collude with Russians?
But Ryan just let it all.
I noticed you didn't answer. I noticed you didn't answer that. Interesting. Very interesting.
Maybe it was true, but I have a feeling it might have been true.
Maybe it was true that you colluded with Russians?
I don't know. I don't know if I believe everything I heard on the radio this morning.
Oh, okay.
When Peter was throwing him under the bus,
right?
Talking about all his personal issues with the police.
Do you think it was a gambit to gain sympathy for Ryan, so he can in fact usurp you as entertainment reporter?
know. You never know what Peter White was up to.
Oh. He's the puppet master.
Yeah, he can be. Well, he's known Ryan for a long time.
He's pulling all the
This is a crazy
strings.
show called Master Day.
He's pulling your strings. He's pulling Ryan's strings.
You remember that show?
It's the Puppet Master. Amsterdam, no, I'm not familiar with it. I'm kidding, of course.
It used to be on at midnight. It used to be a really crazy show.
It was crazy. It was out of control.
The mayor shut it down for a while.
The mayor shut it down. Jenny is here as well.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Jenny.
Hi.
So
Are you giving away our afternoon secrets? Did I hear you talking about our sleeping rituals?
It was not much of a ritual. I just sleep all the time. I sleep in a.
You don't sleep all the time.
I sleep in a cryogenic chamber.
No, you don't.
It's quite refreshing, actually.
No, you don't.
No, it's a what do they call it? A hyperbolic chamber or hyperbaric?
Hyperbolic.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Really?
Yes.
In bed, hyperbolic.
That's why
I don't think so.
That's why I look at like the way that I do at 72 years old.
Ah, this is true. This is true. It's a Yeti effect.
Well, not really. It's more of a hyperbaric effect. So, well, Eric, I guess
we didn't go over the winners of the Royal Rumble.
Oh yes, tell us who won the Royal Rumble.
Lynch.
Becky Lynch, yeah.
She's probably gonna go. The rumor on the street is she's gonna fight Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
The main event WrestleMania.
For the first time ever, not even Jumpin' Jeff Farmer has main evented WrestleMania, but for the first time ever,
for the Raw Women's Belt,
women will main event WrestleMania.
And then Seth Rollins
Long overdue.
Is going to go after Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I read that online and I went.
There'll probably be another guy thrown in there.
We've seen that.
Maybe another guy will be thrown in there.
God,
the road to WrestleMania.
God, we've seen that.
I don't think he's going to fight Daniel Bryan. So
no, they already did that. Oh, you don't mean Seth Rollins is going to fight?
But you can pick either one, so that's the rules.
Well, that would be different. Yeah, that's true. That would be different if he picked Daniel Bryan. That's something we haven't seen.
I guess that guy Finn Balor didn't do very well from what I heard.
Finn Balor?
He got squished.
Well, he's a wee person. He's very small.
I guess Brock Lesnar got booed out of the arena.
Well, he's a bad guy. You're supposed to boo him. How dare you?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, all right. Anything else exciting from the event? Did you watch the entire event?
No, I just followed it on my phone.
Ah. Well, very good.
I don't have the capability of pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
I could have gone down to Chunky's, I guess, but with nobody to bring me down there to see it. Because they show it at Chunky's now. That's the theater.
Oh, yes.
I don't think they do every pay-per-view, but I know they do some MMA wrestling. They do MMA cage fighting, too, I think.
Oh.
UCF. Excuse me.
UFC?
They don't always show movies. So as a matter of fact, right now, excuse me, the next couple of days at different theaters in town, they're showing Wizard of Oz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 80th anniversary.
I thought
Up
that
on the
was
big
already
screen.
in. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Next couple of days, yeah.
The original?
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That must be really
I don't know
neat.
if it's the original, but this is on Kara Robidoux talking about it the other
I don't
day.
think I could handle it. I was terrified of the Oompa Loompas. I don't think I could handle large screened Oompa Loompas.
That's not Wizard of Oz, is it? That's
Oh wait, that's right.
That's Willy Wonka.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wrong movie.
Oh, I have some. Elizabeth Ropp has entered the studio, the Acupunk. By the way, I do have some something upsetting to report. I'm looking at thehill.com, and apparently John Bolton's very frightening mustache was at the podium earlier, announcing some sanctions against Venezuela. I'm not saying that the sanctions against Venezuela are bad, but I do believe that John Bolton's mustache is secretly controlling John Bolton and is part of what makes him evil.
Yeah, not all mustaches are bad. Mustaches are normally good, but John Bolton's not so good.
Right.
Some of them look like they're ready to jump off the face and take off on their own.
Well, we had a guy here for
definitely.
We had a guy here, I forget his name, for the health department. He used to have a pretty nice mustache.
Wait, are you talking about Tim Soucy?
Yeah,
he does have a nice mustache.
He doesn't do the health department anymore. He does something else.
Yeah, I know. He's at CMC now.
Yes.
Yes, but as mustaches go, like
didn't he have
pretty good.
Didn't he have like a handlebar kind of styled, but shorter?
A little shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So we get the good mustaches and the bad mustaches.
Right. But John Bolton's out of control.
And Matt's got a good mustache.
Yes, indeed.
That's a good one.
Yes.
I believe that because there was a report recently that Trump keeps calling John Bolton Steve. and can't keep his name straight. But I believe, my theory is that what Trump actually, because he is a stable genius, he knows something we don't. He knows that Steve is actually the name of John Bolton's mustache, so he's addressing the mustache.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, do you know if Steve's a girl or a boy?
Well, Steve's usually, unless it's Stevie.
Could be
Steve's
Stevie.
usually,
That's actually it could be the Ron Swanson technique if you're Parks and Rec fans, where Ron Swanson.
I've never seen the show.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
Looks
and
like
it's on
something
Netflix.
I would enjoy. But
So Ron Swanson, in a particular episode, if he didn't want someone he knew to think that he liked them, he would deliberately call them by a name other than their own.
Oh, okay.
Or just to kind of keep him guessing. Does he like me? Does he not like me? Does he accept me?
Right.
Like as his coworker, his friend, whatever. So he keeps referring to his coworker Anne as something else. I don't know, something random like Betsy or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So next
Let me just
time
give
you
you a
see
new
someone
name.
that you're not really sure, you kind of want to keep him at a distance. You just give him another name.
Right.
You just give somebody a random name. That
Yeah.
works.
Like Jean-Claude Van Hopwood.
Oh, really?
No, that's bad.
Just give everybody the name Jean-Claude Van Hopwood.
No.
Steve
I don't know.
Pascucci.
I was just coming up with a random name.
Steve Pascucci in the
Poppy?
Facebook live chat
shorten
says, "Easy, has he gone to the dark side?" He's referring to you, Easy G.
The dark side?
Apparently, I guess he's suggesting that if you transfer to the Matt Connarton Unleashed with your entertainment report, that would be going to the dark side.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it fight for my spot on the morning show.
For some reason, I can't. Oh, here we go. Now it's working. I must have screwed it up somehow. I wasn't able to switch the
Yeah,
cameras.
see, there's
but
no reason why you can't have both, the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's why Hannah Montana used to say.
I made him a great offer. I made him a great offer. I
I'm
told him
embarrassed to admit that.
told him I would double whatever Pete pays him and add a zero. But he drives a hard bargain. That
He
Eric
does.
Gagnon, yes. Liz Hopwood said something about boxing a turtle, and I'm supposed to ask you about this.
I have no idea.
I strongly suspected that might be the case.
Yeah. No, he texted me about it while I was at Market Basket, and I just gave him that. I don't know.
Is that a sport? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Boxing turtles?
I got nothing. There's Boxing Day, but that's different.
Yeah, I think that's different.
Yeah.
I have a picture actually when when my grandma passed away in 2017, we actually pulled a old box out of the bowels of the basement. It was like way in the back of the cedar closet. And it turned out that it contained photographs that are phenomenal. One of them is a boxer. And he's in the old-fashioned trunks with like I think it looks like it's like the first styled glove.
Right.
And we can't figure out who he is. We just know he was a relative somewhere along the lines of maybe the late 1800s, early 1900s, in that time frame. But it's just amazing to really see that imagery.
Wow. But not a turtle, an actual boxer.
No, it was an actual boxer in boxers.
Right.
I've never seen a turtle. No, wait. When I was a kid on cartoons, I saw a turtle in boxers.
Right. But maybe if John Hopwood's talking about boxing turtles, maybe he's talking about Mitch McConnell. I don't know.
Or maybe it is underwear.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were putting a turtle in a box. I didn't know. I didn't know what to think.
No.
I thought she was like getting a T-square and like boxing it off.
A what?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. A T-square?
T-square. It's used as a tool of measurement. Oh my goodness.
I'm ignorant to these matters.
We know this, but they don't.
I'm not
Kinda
actually sure
funny.
I know either.
Oh my goodness. I'm alone. I'm not alone, am I?
Well, you're not alone. Just you know more about T-squares than we do.
Apparently.
I'm going to guess from the blank look on Eric's face that yes, you are alone.
Apparently.
Easy G doesn't know either, do you, Easy G?
About what?
What happened to wood shop? Didn't I the only one that took wood shop?
Wood shop?
Oh, I took
Yeah.
wood shop. Yeah, I took it.
Oh, you know what a T-square is then?
I wasn't too good at workshop. Well, I wasn't too good at it, but I tried.
It's measurement.
Yeah.
To measure.
Yeah, I would say like 5 inches and 5.5 and 3 lines. By the time I found
See, look at that. I'm not alone.
Okay.
It's just you
I was
two.
better with metric.
It's
I
just
like
you
metric.
two.
We're not alone.
We have
He is here with you.
We have a call.
Oh, she's serenading me.
Hi,
My girlie's
welcome to
gonna get
Matt
jelly.
Connarton Unleashed. Who's this? Nope.
They hung
Somebody-
up.
They hung up.
John Hopwood, call back.
How do you know it was him?
I just assumed he called. He'll be here in the studio, and then he'll leave, and then he'll call from down the street.
He does do that kind of thing. Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Yes.
Or he'll call and then come in.
I was hoping I'd see Gary Hopper at some point because I wanted to hear what happened with a bill he co-sponsored.
He doesn't really come around here very often. I don't think he likes our flavor.
Well, no, it's just he usually pops in on a Wednesday if he's here because he's in the building anyway. But it's not. But he can only do it if he gets here early enough, which isn't always the case.
I don't suspect he'll be very receptive to rap music.
Yeah, and this Wednesday
we got a really
have
great show Wednesday.
People from Massive Hustle Records coming in. Yeah.
Unless it's Christian rap that involves guns, then he'll be into it.
Right. Well, there was that Christian rapper who was battling. We watched that, right? The Christian rapper Loso. He was battling Daylight in that video, and Loso was talking about guns.
I don't remember. I really don't recall.
Yes. I'm concerned about this. According to rightwingwatch.org, this because I'm very critical of the president. It says here Trump's quote-unquote prophets are claiming that we are at war with satanic opponents of Trump, his wall, and his divine destiny.
Oh, boy.
I didn't know there was a divine destiny involved in this whole deal.
You didn't know that he was the second coming, according to some Christians?
Well, they certainly behave that way, but I didn't know it went this deep. It says here a group of Trump-supporting prophets
better people.
Rallied prayer warriors last Thursday night to defend Trump's push for a wall on the southern border, denouncing his political opponents and media critics as demonic forces out to undermine God's plan for the nation. Now, I'm a frequent
Those Bernie
critic.
supporters are all worshiping Satan.
Apparently. Well, I'm not a Bernie supporter per se, but I do criticize Trump and the wall.
Oh,
and,
but didn't you vote for the Libertarian candidate? Wouldn't that be the same thing?
I guess.
It's anti-Trump, so you're evil.
Gary Johnson certainly didn't support a wall. Apparently, I'm in league with Satan. I had no idea.
You are in league with the devil.
I kind of feel badly about it. I don't know. Eric, you look concerned.
Scare the acupunk away.
No. I was actually thinking about how I was talking to a friend about this, because Trump has this huge evangelical following, which doesn't make any sense. And she was saying, they think that he's going to help bring on the rapture, like he's going to help bring on the end of the world.
Oh yeah, that's very exciting.
But can we back up for a second?
Yeah.
Can we just highlight one area of this?
Okay.
Excited to bring about the end of the world.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah, I know.
This is not good to me. Call me crazy, but I'm not excited about the idea of the end of the world.
I'm not excited about it either. And I guess it's what they want. They scientists are predicting it's going to happen in 10 years, and evangelicals are like, bring it sooner, bring it sooner.
What scientists are predicting in 10 years?
Climate scientists.
10 years?
But they've been talking about
I keep reading 12. But that may have been revised.
But isn't there I thought there was a revisions due to changes.
Not literally the end of the world, but the beginning of the end of the world.
The beginning of the end of the world.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the evangelicals just want to bring it on sooner by building walls and starting wars and instigating all kinds of crap.
They're very excited.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't want to follow those people.
What about peace? What about
Wouldn't you rather
charity? Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather be in heaven? Come on.
You know what kills me? I have a 25-year-old son. He does not know a non-war America.
Yeah.
At all.
I believe it.
He has no concept or understanding of a non-war America.
Mm-hmm.
He has a very strong concept of his friends going overseas for multiple tours to do things, or their parents for multiple tours. Yeah. That's what he recalls. Mm-hmm. His earliest memories are from elementary school when 9/11 happened. Mm-hmm. So these kids, that generation, has grown up with a war-based economy and a war-based society with troops constantly being sent overseas and people coming back and damaged or injured or God forbid dead. He's seen people suffer through some pretty terrible things, and this is what these kids are seeing. They don't know what peacetime is like. How sad is that?
Unfortunately, there's a lot of money at war.
That's equally sad.
That's what it is. It's a business. It's not It's not about protecting the country.
Of course not.
No.
And
I
think there could be money and happiness.
Same with football. They say they care about the athlete's health, but yet they have Thursday night football right after Sunday. There's no way that the body can heal between a Sunday game and a Thursday game.
Should they have it Wednesday?
So they don't really care about that.
Like Wednesday mid-afternoon.
This part, the money.
Oh, well, yes.
The Thursday contract is a huge box.
That's very true. And actually, the NFL has actually taken an interest in some studies that are going on involving CBD, because CBD has been showing a promise to help NHL. They're thinking it may help NHL players because it can be used instead of opioids or narcotics. So instead of giving them pain medications for, if they blow out something, a kneecap or something, to put them on CBD instead of opioids or narcotics. So they've actually invested money in some of the research.
Well,
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, this is really cool.
No,
yeah.
what league is this?
The NFL.
The NFL.
The NFL,
Yeah.
because and especially with all the injuries that they get, the neuropathy that they get, CBD shows a lot of promise in those
I know
areas.
some players have committed suicide because of their
Oh yeah.
of their constant problems with headaches
And they're donating their brains to science.
and what do you call it?
Concussions.
Yeah.
Syndrome. This is the thing happened with Chris Benoit when he killed his family. That was a real sorry day for the
Right,
wrestler.
that's the theory. It was CTE
Oh, I
because
believe it was.
when they did examine his brain, it was yeah.
I mean, no excuse for killing his family, but that was
Right.
a sorry day for wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been the same since. A lot of people say
Can
that.
you totally blame someone who's obvious when they look? There's obvious injury to the brain. There's obvious, they did that horrible thing. Yes, but
Yeah.
Well,
when
his
they
favorite move was-
examined him, they found that his brain was seriously damaged.
His favorite move was flying off the top of the ring with
The
his head.
diving headbutt.
And that's
yeah.
why they've outlawed the pile driver.
Yeah. Well, there were other reasons for that too, because it messes up your spine pretty bad. The pile driver.
Right.
I mean, I had actually done the pile driver to Hulk Hogan after I betrayed him and hit him with that steel chair in that match we had against the Russians, where I colluded with the Russians. But that was 1985. That was a long time ago. Those are good memories. Hopwood said something about you heard us talking Friday about when Eric's nemesis Ryan Gorman was here.
Oh yeah. I heard that show. That was good.
I don't know if you know this, but Eric is fighting for his spot as entertainment reporter on the morning show with Ryan Gorman, who is attempting to usurp him. But Hopwood said something about you heard Ryan talking about acupuncture.
Yeah, that was really cool to turn on the radio and hear someone other than me talking about ear acupuncture.
Yes.
I was super psyched about it. I was like, yes, it's happening. It's happening. My radical acupuncture agenda is taking hold. It's taking root here in New Hampshire.
Yes.
I've actually had that done.
Have you?
Yes, I've had it done with the needles. I've also had it done with the acupressure stickers, which stick inside the ear.
Who treated you? Was it Leia?
No, Raylyn.
Where?
She's out in the Belmont area, Gilmington.
Okay.
Years.
Cool.
She's really good. Like, if I would stress out before an exam, and she's like on my ears.
Nice.
It would work.
That's
It would
awesome.
work. Yeah. I mean, I loved getting it done. I used to get it done regularly.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
the stickers you can leave in for like 3 days.
Stickers?
Yeah, they're like little stickers. That's,
Little
what? You're
seeds.
better to explain
No,
it.
no. I love that you're explaining it because it's cool. It's like, see, it's happening. Other people are talking about
just
it.
a little thing that sticks in your ear, and it doesn't hurt or anything. It's not like a little. It's not like you get a needle stuck in there. And you can wear them for up to 3 days, and then say that they're in a position for treatment of, say, anxiety, for example, and you start to feel a little bit anxious. You can actually apply a little bit of pressure to the seeds and kind of help that a little bit if you need to. But I found that just by having them, that I didn't need to do anything. The only thing I had to do was make myself take them out because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I like the effect, but she would say, you have to take it out. You have
After
to
a few days,
give
you
it a
was like,
rest. Yeah, it's no good anymore. We give it a rest. Yep.
Yeah, I used to, when the respite care on Central Street was still open, I used to go there and do the acupressure seeds on people's ears while they're waiting for beds in recovery programs. And some people are like a few days into quitting.
Can I take you with me for my infusion therapy?
We could figure something out.
I don't know. We're up at the crack of dawn for that thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So you and Leah, is that her name?
Leia, yeah. She is she's an acupuncture detoxification specialist.
Oh, okay.
So not a fully licensed acupuncturist, but she's taken the 70-hour NADA training. And so now she's as a recovery coach, peer counselor, she is able to practice ear acupuncture in New Hampshire.
Oh, very good.
So she's like out and giving talks and demonstrations, and I'm super excited because after a while I'm like, is it only me doing this? Like going out and talking to people. And so when I see that other people are like making it happen, I'm like, Oh, thank you.
I had a doctor do it for me in Concord Hospital.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually did the acupuncture for me.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I actually went back for a few extra treatments.
Okay. When
afterwards. When was that? I think it was a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really wild that he came right into the room and did it, and I was blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really forward thinking. They do aromatherapy stuff too, so it's
I've
really
heard they
neat
even
that they're
offer
doing that.
Reiki at
Yes,
Concord
they
Hospital,
do.
which
They
is
do.
really surprising.
They do. They have Reiki practitioners. They have ones that go in for women that are in labor.
That's great.
That specialize in labor and delivery.
That's great.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. It's finally happening. It's been forever. I mean, I was in the medical profession for 20 years, and to mix Eastern and Western medicine is a beautiful symbiosis if you can do it right.
Right.
But some people just, they shy away and they think, oh, you're not going to stick me with that needle. It's going to hurt. They think the needles are going to hurt, and they don't. They don't hurt.
I've talked to doctors who said that hospitals can't figure out how to bring acupuncture into hospitals, which means they can't figure out how to bill for it and make a profit because it's not really something that's profitable.
Yeah, you really do
it's
have
more
to
like a
find
money
a provider
saver.
that cares.
Yeah, exactly.
And willing to make the effort. I was lucky.
Right.
I was lucky.
So last week on the news in Tennessee, Vanderbilt University Medical Center started incorporating ear acupuncture, and they have a program where anybody and everybody can like walk in and pay $20 for ear acupuncture, and for pain, for stress, for addictions, for anything. And so I was really excited to see that, and like little by little, each state is kind of putting out a new little news story. Yeah. I have friends in Massachusetts who are trying to get an acupuncture detox law passed in Massachusetts, but they're going to have a fight on their hands, even though they're asking for something that's less that's more restrictive than what we passed here in New Hampshire, just because they've got one of the oldest acupuncture schools in the country. And again, turf battle with acupuncturists who are scared it's going to take work away from them, which it's not.
Right. Hello to Dr. Jeff Cassell, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. And is that all settled now with the legislation that you were, is that finally like...
It's settled, it's final, but the licensing board could make changes to the rules if they want to.
Yeah.
I've heard that they don't have any immediate plans, but I will probably be reading their meeting minutes and watching them for all eternity.
They have to go in front of Jelcar, though, in order to do those rules, right?
Yeah,
so they'll have to have a public hearing in front of Jelcar.
Right.
So if there's an issue,
and they're aware of that,
people can go up there and voice their opinions.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, friends of the show, he's been on the show. He's been on the morning show. He had his own show, Bear the Big Guy, Mike Doyle. He speaks big of acupuncture.
Yay!
I don't know if you know who he is.
His name's familiar.
He's a big guy, yeah.
He is a big guy. What are you saying, Eric?
Oh,
what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say he's
a big
tall?
fella. He's a big fella.
You're trying to say he's big in stature, like he just has a big presence? What are you trying to...
Well, he does acupuncture. I don't know how much he does it, but he speaks highly of it when it's brought up on the morning show.
No, he does. He does. I have heard him talk about it. Yes, he does speak very highly of it.
Relaxes him. And
yes.
Most of the time he falls asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Do you do the kind where they heat the needle up?
Moxa, not at a community acupuncture clinic because we're treating everyone in a big group setting and we can't smoke up the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll send people home with Moxa sticks, for a variety of reasons, so they could do self-treatment with Moxa.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is that? I see, I've never even heard that term.
Moxa is mugwort, and it can be used in different forms. Like you can have like little chunks of this herb that you can put on the handle of a needle and light it, and it warms up the needle, and it can be really good for pain.
Okay.
Or for if you're treating digestive issues, like heating up the needle to sort of like get digestion moving.
Yeah.
But sometimes it comes in this like giant herbal cigar form, and you can just light the end of it and hold it. Like for women who are bleeding in between their periods or periods that just won't stop, if you hold it over the big toe, it can be helpful for getting bleeding to stop.
Really?
And then it can also be really helpful for labor if the infant is still like kind of sideways or not turned the right way
completely.
Yeah, and so you can moxa. Like there's been lots and lots of studies about how moxing the pinky toe can help get the baby to turn.
Raylan would do it, especially up around my shoulders, and it was the most incredible feeling.
Yeah, nice and warming.
Oh, yeah, because it travels down the needle, and it's not like it's hot. It's not like it's a burning. It's a really
nice.
It's an amazing warming sensation that is internal. Mm-hmm. It's not like using a heating pad. You can really feel the warmth inside, and the muscle relaxes.
Right.
So
I was just going to say, since we're talking about this, so Representative Peter Schmidt from Dover is introducing legislation. The hearing is on Wednesday, and it's basically so it can allow doctors to prescribe non-opioid alternatives for pain, like acupuncture, massage, PT, chiropractic, physical therapy.
They can prescribe it, but it's not going to be covered.
Right, and to make sure that there's insurance coverage for it.
So it's not going to happen. That won't happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, insurance coverage for acupuncture isn't really my cause. But I mean, and like I don't deal with insurance at a community clinic.
We can't get them to cover infusions. Well, we're going to get them to cover. I mean, it's like pulling teeth to get them to cover anything.
Right. Yeah.
And they'll go to the board kicking and screaming. And what people don't understand is when we have privatized insurance, the companies that are they're what do you call it? They're self-funded. They don't have to stick to any kind of rule or regulation that, well, not to any, but they do have to some. But if there's a mandate, if there's a medical mandate that says, oh, you have to pay, like this one for hearing aids, you have to pay this much, you have to give patients this much for hearing aids. It's not covered by insurance companies, including Medicare, Medicaid, at all. Not one dime. Not one dime. People think that it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
My infusion therapy is not covered. Not one dime. That's 100% out of pocket or no treatment.
Wow.
It's literally like that, and it's ridiculous that how much you have to fight. And insurance companies, you would think, would want to encourage these behaviors because they're so healthy and beneficial to people to be able to do, like acupuncture, to do chiropractic, anything like that can really be complementary and helpful to help reduce the use of prescription medications.
We do have some breaking news. Nancy Pelosi has invited Trump to deliver the State of the Union on February 5th.
Oh, she took him out of the corner.
Yes.
He's out of timeout now.
Sorry, Eric. What?
A week late.
Yes, well, better late than never. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be awkward and interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be have as much power as he thought.
Don't you think the...
I know, right? Can you imagine the look on her face? She's going to be standing there just like staring at him with a grin.
Don't you think there should be a...
Which is terrible. I shouldn't say that, but it is true.
It's going to be hilarious.
They give him a 3-week barrier to try to figure out the government shutdown. Don't you think it's going to get resolved by then? Because it would be really awkward if it's still not a settlement.
Well, no. I mean...
That way
he's already threatening to do it again.
You can declare victory, though, on that big speech.
Well, this recent shutdown only cost the economy $11 billion, according to the CBO. So what's the big
IRS
deal?
is reporting it's going to take them 18 months to get back to work.
Yep.
For some people, that's really good, and for other people, not so much.
Yeah.
Depends on where you fall on the refund and or owe government money.
Right.
And many people who have government jobs are looking for other jobs.
Yeah.
Where they don't have to necessarily worry about a shutdown affecting their ability to...
And not everybody's going to get back pay, from what I heard there, too. Everybody thought they're all going to get back pay. Nope, they're not.
Not everybody, and not everybody's going to get benefits that weren't administered during that time period too, which could be inclusive of death benefits. I have not heard a guarantee for our Coast Guard or our military personnel. See, anybody who died while the shutdown was going on did not get their death benefit. The family did not get their death benefits. That's one of the things of a shutdown is somebody who's in the military, the Coast Guard passes away. The family does. Seriously, Liz, they don't get the money. They don't get the money. And most people who have some kind of policy like that, I know a lot of first responders and such, they count on that to help take care of funeral expenses, as they know they have that benefit.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine losing a loved one in the military and then actually being played with or toyed with like some kind of, I don't know, puppet on a string because you're not going to get the money for you to take care of, maybe flying your loved one back from the other side of the country, or burial expenses, funeral expenses, all of those things.
Oh, do you remember I think it was Obama gave what's that speech again? You just mentioned
State of the Union.
State of the Union. Somebody yelled out "liar."
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
I remember that.
Who was that again?
From South Carolina.
It was Joe somebody. I forget his last name.
Wonder if he got reelected.
Wasn't it the guy that said he was hiking the Appalachian Trail, but it was really that wasn't. I always thought it was that guy.
No, different guy.
I think it was one year too. Obama, some of the people in the Supreme Court didn't show up too, because they were mad at him for some reason.
Yeah, I seem to remember that. Yeah. Hello to Abe Hamad in the Facebook live chat.
Hey, Abe.
So political.
Well, it's politics.
Oh yeah, that is worse. You think Vince McMahon used to be involved in the WWE? It's just
Donald Trump?
Everything you need to know about that guy.
Well,
I know,
Donald
right?
Trump is in the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame.
I thought they were taking him out or something. There was something weird about that. People complaining about him being in there.
Well, that would be awkward because Linda McMahon is Trump's Small Business Administration.
Is she still in there? She hasn't got fired yet?
No, she hasn't got. No, she's kept her head down and her mouth shut, and she's.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's a Small Business Administration. It's not like.
He has like a nothing job.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but. Hey, that reminds me. How's the registrar? Are you registering probate?
I'm definitely registering probate. Actually, so this is why I wanted to run into the Honorable Gary Hopper, because legislation was proposed to bring back the duties and responsibilities of Register of Probate.
Oh.
And he was a co-sponsor of that bill.
So you currently have no duties and responsibilities?
I have no duties and responsibilities.
Wow.
I ran to be Register of Probate because there's nothing to do, and I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, okay.
And my opponent was Joe Lavasser.
Does it
which
have
makes
a
it even
salary?
funnier. Yeah, it's $100 a year. Yeah.
Oh, you beat Joe Kelly of Oscar?
I beat Joe Kelly
You
by
get more than a
5,000
state
votes.
rep, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I might have voted for you.
That's awesome.
I
Thanks.
can't stand that guy.
I appreciate
No,
it.
I voted for her.
I think I might have too, because I can't stand that guy.
So Gary Hopper was a co-sponsor on this bill, and I don't know what's happening with it, but I submitted testimony, and I even asked people. I put out a survey. Do you want this position to come back? Yes, no. Do you like me? Check this box. And I talked to people about why they want to restore the position, and my friend Dave's 11-year-old daughter thought it just blew her mind that I was running for an office that had no responsibilities. And she was talking to her parents about it, and she was talking to her teacher about it, and she said, "I can't believe this."
Yeah, you don't even have an office.
11-year-old, yeah, no office.
Right.
So this 11-year-old girl. So her dad says, "Why don't you write a letter to the paper?" And then I said, "Hey, I got even better. Why don't you write to this committee that's going to decide whether or not we're going to bring the responsibilities back?" So she does, and she writes a letter to the committee saying that she thinks it's shocking, bring the responsibilities back. Why would otherwise? What's the point?
Yes.
It's cool to have an 11-year-old girl care about something that normally puts people to sleep.
Otherwise, no offense, but you're kind of an empty suit.
Exactly.
Well.
So
what are the responsibilities?
It's supposed to help people with wills and estates and guardianship issues. And I can tell you about I can tell you a little bit more about that. But so most of the representatives on the committee write something nice back to the 11-year-old who cares about this kind of boring thing.
Yeah.
Except
there's
one
gonna be a
guy.
but. I knew there was gonna be a but.
Yeah, one guy has to write back and mansplain to the 11-year-old, how are we gonna fund it? We just want people to just be this title and just collect their $100 a year and go away.
Oh my God.
Wow.
He really laid it on thick.
Really?
Her dad was
Who
mad.
was it?
I can't remember.
Oh, you gotta tell what.
let me find my phone. I could
that
probably
was. I gotta know.
Well,
I
I'd
always
like to.
get a weird. It's always weird. Some of these legislators that just for whatever reason decide they gotta pick apart some little kid.
Yeah, and it's so
There's
funny.
enough adults to pick apart up there. What are you gonna go after the kid for?
And I mean, I don't know why. I didn't expect this. I just kept saying it'd be great to have her write in. The representatives will just be tickled. She's 11 years old. No one would expect it. And then I remember, wait a minute. We were on Last Week Tonight, or not we, but the New Hampshire legislature was on Last Week Tonight because a 5th grade class wanted to make the red-tailed hawk the official state raptor. And then who was it who said it should be the official bird of Planned Parenthood because the way it rips its prey apart. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
I
blah,
remember that. That was growing.
I'll find it. I'll find the email.
I think, wasn't it? No.
Well, if
what was
you
his
can.
name?
I'm looking up the email from my friend Dave.
Was it growing?
Grow something like that. Growing. Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It was Representative Wooliper was the one who wrote back.
If you can you
from what town?
Let's see. Kurt Wooliper.
Oh.
We'd have to look it up on the general court website. I don't know.
Kurt Welper from
Welper.
the anti-abortion guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sponsors bills on what do you call it, buffer zones and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He used to be with Right, or maybe still is with Right to Life New Hampshire. Is that online? Because you know what?
No. I mean, my friend sent me the email.
Oh.
I'm not gonna.
Did you? Oh, is it like a private email?
I mean, I could read it. I'll just keep the names out of my friend and
Well,
his daughter.
well, because what I was thinking would be fun is if you could forward it to me, I could do one of my infamous dramatic readings.
I could hand you my phone and you could do the dramatic reading.
Okay.
Okay, just leave out the names of my friend and his daughter. And then
Okay.
Let me find it again. Sorry.
Yeah. No names. You need to do anonymity. Can you do that?
Let's. Are
you skilled?
What would be some good names to use to substitute?
Jack and Jill.
No. Got to be something fun.
So here it is.
Jack and Diane. No.
Well, it's a
That's not
father
fun?
and it's a father and daughter, right? The
Oh,
names.
okay, yeah,
so it
so-
can't be Jack and Diane.
Yeah.
They were two American kids just doing the best they can.
That's true.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
What,
we can't do that.
Sorry, what, Liz? Okay. Kurt Welper, yes, okay.
The little girl writes a nice little happy letter to go, I don't think that somebody should be able to get elected and get paid to do nothing. I want him to do something. Okay.
All right, so
this
here,
guy's going to chastise her. Let's hear it.
so here we go. And this was written, this is recent. This was written on January 17th, 2019 at 10:19 p.m. I see a caller. You'll have to hold on for a minute because I want to be able to give Liz back her phone. Okay, here we go.
Oh, you can take the caller and then give me back my phone.
You don't mind?
Yeah,
All right. I just feel weird having your phone. Oh, they hung up. Okay.
You want to wait?
I just I get maybe it's my ADD. I get really freaked out if I have to hand somebody my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. And name omitted. How about Bip and Bop or something?
Or dear Jenny. Let's just call the little girl Jenny.
We'll call the little girl Jenny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do I always get sucked into these things?
And then
Well, I don't know. You seem like you might have been an 11-year-old who'd be writing their representatives.
All right, here we go.
Will you get out of my bedroom?
That's a compliment.
Here we-
All right, thank you.
Here we go.
I may or may not have resembled that remark and may or may not have been cited by the state of Massachusetts, but we won't go there.
Jenny, thank you for your concern about restoring duties to the Register of Probate. The Register of Probate is a constitutional office which has been filled through election since 1877. Our Constitution clearly separates the Register of Probate, who until very recently served as the clerk of the probate court, from the judicial branch of government and placed the office in the executive branch. Just why that separation was important then is unclear, but separation of powers is an important pillar of our constitutional order. In recent years, we have made major changes in the judicial branch, including moving to electronic filing of most cases. In the probate area, that meant that the Register of Probate had precious little to do. So the court simply told elected registers of probate to take the $100 per year and don't bother us. The changes to the courts have saved the state tens of millions of dollars and improved services to our citizens, including probate services. We have had several attempts to remove the Register of Probate from the Constitution, which would solve our dilemma. We also have had some attempts to restore the office of Register of Probate duties. Thus far, all have failed. And despite your advocacy, I expect HB 305 to fail as well. So I suggest you think about how we fix the situation. Should we spend $1 million or so every year to provide duties for this constitutional officer who can provide little, if any, real benefit to our citizens just to comply with our constitutional order? Or do we pass a constitutional amendment to remove the office altogether? Or do we simply keep on pretending and continue to elect registers of probate with no function? So far, we, your elected representatives, have failed into the last option. Do you still think HB 305 is the best answer?
Such an intense email to send to an 11-year-old.
Seriously.
Well, although I would ask the same question of Jenny, is HB 305 really the best answer?
Well, maybe it is. I don't like your snide attitude.
It's sort of funny because,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a few conversations with my husband about this. And
Yes.
he's like, I don't know, maybe he's trying to treat her like an adult.
Sounds
talk
like
to her
somebody-
like an adult. I'm like,
To be
yeah,
fair, that may be.
but to be fair,
Yeah.
like, he didn't respond to my letter.
Maybe he's been hanging out with Spanky
Spanky.
or whatever you want to call him this week.
Now we call him Squirt.
Squirt.
But we
yes,
don't.
Squirt.
We don't say his real
Flower
name.
pot, ma'am.
We don't say his real name on the
Yeah,
air.
we don't.
Yeah. We used to refer to him as the FTD florist or the flower pot guy.
Oh, you're talking about.
Yes,
Yep,
yes.
you got
Oh,
it. Yeah, you got it.
We
See,
have.
doesn't it sound
Here's
familiar?
your. I'll give you your,
same
your phone here.
Same philosophy.
We have
Let
pet
me
names for him.
chastise a child.
We have fun pet names for him because we
Think that made
love
him feel
so
big
much.
and bad and better to write that child this letter?
No, I think it may be that he was just trying to treat her like an adult. I like Kurt. I know Kurt. He's all
You
right.
really have to take time out of your day to go tell off an 11-year-old who took time
Well,
out of their
I
day to
wouldn't-
write a committee.
I don't
well,
think
we
he was
can't get
telling her
kids
off.
to pay attention to anything these days.
Right.
That's the stupidest thing in the world. Encourage the kid. You know what? Respectfully disagree.
Yes.
Tell the kid.
Yeah.
I had kids write to me when I was in office. Do you think I chastised them? Hell no.
Oh, you had kids write to you? What did they write to you about?
Oh, different things. Like sometimes it would be educational stuff. A lot of times it's having to do with educational stuff, but sometimes having to do with other issues.
Right.
No matter what the issue was, it didn't matter what side I came down on it for. To me, it was a big deal that the kid took it to heart and cared enough to write to me.
Right.
So I would write them back.
And they know to write to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And I would always get responses back though from parents saying that they were ecstatic or happy that I did, because apparently that's rare.
Yeah.
But to take your time out of your day to chastise some stranger's child,
I don't know if it was
it's just
chastising.
ridiculous.
I don't know.
think it
I don't.
is.
I don't quite read it that way.
Do you still think
But it was
so,
kind of an
huh?
intense letter. Despite your
Well-
advocacy, this will fail.
Well, yes.
And do you
that is
still
true.
think that it's a good idea now
All
that
right.
I told you it's a failure?
All right, we have a
you
call.
horrible child.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
The anti-squirt.
The anti-squirt. Wow. Okay. I thought maybe
I
it was
have a
Kurt
real
Welper.
short question to ask,
Mm.
and maybe Jenny and maybe Elizabeth knows, but there seems to have been a scandal in Child Protective Services, and in the headlines, like there's been deaths. Now, wouldn't they must fall under probate, and wouldn't a real advocacy program like probate, if the register of probate did have some responsibility, couldn't they be an advocate for these kids or to clean up the situation?
No.
And there's also, I know, in the legal system.
No. Hang
they
on.
have People that are child advocates.
Do one at a time.
I'll give it back to you. I'll give it over to you.
Yeah, give it one at a time. Oh boy, he's in a hot today. Maybe
It's the anti-squirt.
I guess so. No, it's a good question, but no, there are so many children in need, really, that's actually the guardian ad litems, or the this is another word for them.
Casas.
The hostas, yeah, that look out for the kids, advocate for the kids, and their job is to be there for the kid, represent the kid. When you're talking about guardianship, you're talking about just simple paperwork.
Yeah.
Like, here's a good example, and this happens. Something happens to your spouse, and they get into the hospital, and they are not able to make decisions for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It is not true that you can simply make decisions for them.
Mm-hmm.
That is not true. And in some instances, you may need to go to court and get guardianship of your loved one in order for the medical professionals to be able to then give control over to you. Especially if the person doesn't have a living will or a durable power of health or anything like that on file. So that's where you would come in, would be to help people with that, right?
It was issues with guardianship that people came forward and told me some of their personal stories that made me interested in restoring the Office of Register of Probate. And even still, I don't know if that necessarily is what you have to do. It's just I met enough people who told me about just sort of the bureaucratic nightmare that they kind of go through for a loved one who can't make their own decisions.
They pretty much have to, because
Yeah.
the medical professionals have to cover their backs.
Right.
So they have to have all of their T's crossed and their I's dotted.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have legal guardianship and there's no paperwork to show that there was any preconceived ideas for that person, you're going to have to go through the steps of getting guardianship rights in order to be able to make decisions for that person. They're not your child. They're not a minor.
Mm-hmm.
And in this day and age, being married to somebody does not give you a right to any of their medical information whatsoever. You can be that person's spouse all you want to and ask them all you want to. They will not speak to you. They will not give information without permission of the patient.
Did you and Joe Kelly Levasseur debate?
No, he did not respond to my challenge to Jello wrestle him, and he did not. and he did not call me to congratulate me when
Raspberry
I won,
flavor?
which I would have called him if he had won to officially concede to him and
If
congratulate
you really
him.
think he'd do that, come on.
But I think also that he probably didn't call me to congratulate me because he probably just assumes that he won.
He doesn't know.
So I think he just doesn't know. I think he just assumes he's the Register of Probate, which
He hasn't figured it out
let's
yet?
not tell him.
That's actually-
Let's just let him think that.
That's actually funny. if that's the case.
Well, you don't get that check for $100. He'll figure it out.
Tell him he's gonna wrestle you in the Jello to get it back, get the job back.
Oh my God.
Well, somebody's going to be getting an email from Kurt Welper saying, "Do you really think that Jello wrestling is the best way to settle these matters?"
Do you?
Well,
really?
I looked him up to see what kind of bills has he sponsored, and he was a sponsor for getting rid of the buffer zone in front of.
Oh yeah, he's hardcore pro-life. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I had that moment where I thought, do I tell him that when I needed an abortion several years ago, I knew exactly where to go because of the protesters. I saw them out front of the clinic, and I'm like, and so sometime later, I'm like, oh, I know where to go because that one day I happened to be walking by and there were the protesters.
I never would have thought of it that way.
Yeah, and so I was.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
actually, that never would have occurred to me.
Though.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
You highlight something, you give it attention.
Yeah,
right.
that's never even occurred to me that way. Wow.
And like that's really like how it happened. Like, I mean, I would have looked it up in the online or whatever phone book because it was years ago. But I mean, I happened to be out for a walk and I saw people protesting. I'm like, oh, is this an abortion clinic? And they said yes, and I'm like, okay, I'm just heading to Staples. And, later I knew where to go.
Oh my gosh. So the pro-lifers directed you towards the, okay.
Yeah, so I was talking
I'm not gonna say nothing about that.
I was talking to now Senator Melanie Levesque from Brookline. I'm not sure what district that is. She was running against Kevin Avard. And I
don't even know where Brookline is. I know.
It's southern New Hampshire.
Okay.
I like Kevin.
I have talked to him before, but the point of the story was I was talking to Melanie and I was asking her about when she served in the House, who were some allies that she surprising allies that she found on certain bills, and she said that it was John Hunt who the two of them sort of shared the same opinion that there should be buffer zones and you shouldn't be like right up close protesting when a woman is making her own decisions on reproductive freedom. And I said, I completely agree with you, but then I just happened to share that story of when I needed an abortion, I knew where to go because of those protesters.
Yeah.
Do I tell them that? So maybe they'll be less likely to protest.
Wow.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
No,
They do it anyway.
Definitely wouldn't work.
And I walk to where it seems like nowadays every time I walk past the Planned Parenthood in Manchester on my way to work, there's protesters out.
Are there really? Yeah.
It used to be just Saturdays and Thursdays, and now it's every day.
Huh.
And I have a friend who works there, and I said, "What's the deal? How come they're there every day?" And she said, "It's because they're giving out the what's the pill that you take immediately?
Yeah, the morning after pill.
The morning after pill, the Plan B.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now I get it. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and of course, pro-lifers like to conflate that with RU486, the abortion pill.
They're not even close to being the same thing in any way, shape, or form.
But so many people fall for that.
They do. But then there are people though that insist that at the cellular level, that's enough for them. So they do seriously think of it the same way.
Oh yeah. Well, they're trying to
give it to rape victims in the hospital.
They're trying to get into heaven
if they want it. It's not like it's shoved at you. It's if you want this, you can have it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know, but the protesters out in front of Planned Parenthood, they're just, I don't know, couldn't they be, tutoring at-risk kids or, being a big brother, big sister? And, do they have to be, harassing women about their bodily choices when right now the opioid epidemic is devastating the state so much, and there are grandparents who could use some help with the grandkids that they're raising, or there are single parents who could
never
use
mind
some
the people that are freezing to death every night. But
never mind that.
Here, I understand it. I don't agree with abortion being used as a form of birth control.
Right.
And I know that and I've actually met a woman that pretty much used it as a form of birth control.
That's
she
expensive.
literally
birth control.
had 10 No lie, 10 different abortions.
Yeah.
And instead of going on the pill, even though family would go like, why don't you just go on the pill? Why don't you this? Why don't you that? Wouldn't do it. I don't.
Wow.
I mean, to me, that's horrific. But I always go back to a story that I was told, and it's a horrible story, but it's true. And I used to bring this up in the house, is that there are no absolutes in government and law. There cannot be any absolute in law because there's always something that you don't think of.
Yeah.
Well, did you think about the lady whose baby died in utero?
Yeah.
And her body did not do what it was supposed to do. This happened to somebody that I knew, and it was a horrible story. The woman had become pregnant and past the 24 weeks or so, like into like the third trimester or so, the baby just suddenly died.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the baby died.
It happens.
And the doctor said, well, your body will naturally go into an abortion, and that will happen, and this is what you'll feel, and yada, yada, yada. Well, 2 weeks goes by, and it doesn't happen. At this point, she's completely a basket case because she called herself, she referred to herself as a walking coffin. Yeah. And it was horrifically terrifying. Yeah. The state that they were in did not allow for any exception whatsoever.
Yeah.
So even though she was carrying a dead baby, the doctors could not go in and take the baby and take out the placenta and clean her system up. And it was, basically just dead inside of her, essentially starting to decompose, putting her at risk for things like sepsis and infection that she would die from. Her husband had to take her to another state where it would be legal for a doctor to go in and clean out her system. And they had to do that.
Yeah.
Her body never did it naturally. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
So to me, that proved to me that you cannot have an absolute.
Right, of course.
Because I wouldn't want to be the person standing there telling that person, no, you keep carrying around the dead baby. We don't care. You get sick and die, hey, that's all right. It's the will. I could not fathom for the life of me forcing somebody to suffer through that kind of trauma and call it justice.
The problem is conservatives tend to see things very black and white, and that's not to pick on them.
That's not all conservatives.
It's not all conservatives, but I'm just saying generally they're not good at nuance, and they see things as very binary, ones and zeros.
And nothing is like that, though.
So to them, abortion is murder, period, end of story, because they can't, even and for a while, the Republican Party was really kind of like, okay, except in cases of rape and incest. But now a lot of the Republican Party is like, no, even then.
They won't even allow, some won't allow for an exception for even the endangerment of the mother's life. And in this instance, the woman was in extreme jeopardy of having sepsis and then subsequently dying from what infection would have instilled if the doctors hadn't been able to go out there and take care of her in the OR and then, help her recover from that. She did go on to have a child. About a year or so after that, but she suffered through a lot of trauma that should have never happened.
Yeah,
it should have been okay for the doctors to take care of her right then and there, and not make her suffer through it. I cannot imagine being in that position. As a woman, I can't imagine it.
This entire conversation started with talking about Register of Probate and Kurt Walliper.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Walliper.
Yeah.
I just had to bring it back.
Yeah. Well, why don't we? We're well past the top of the hour. Why don't we take a break? I've been wanting to play this. I got a song here by a band called, or I don't know if they're a band or if it's a solo artist. I don't know much about them. Called Gnostic Gorilla, but the song is called Roger Stone's Civil War.
Cool.
So I think this would be a fun thing to play. Are you, Liz? Are you sticking around? Or
I was actually going to head home, but I wanted to stop by just because John Hopwood's like, you got to come over, and I'm like, yeah, it's been a while since I've been over, but thanks for having me. It was
you're welcome
great
anytime.
To hang out and talk to you guys.
Yeah, I love having you here.
Yeah, good to
I never
see
get to see you in person.
I know.
So this is great for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go with you. We'll have coffee.
We'll
just leave you boys to play.
Are you sticking around, Eric? Or
I gotta leave about 5:30.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a call here. Let's take this call before we take the break, in case it's for anyone who's heading out. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Yeah, it's the Squirt.
Hi, Squirt. Your something must have been burning. We were just talking about you.
Yeah, I just don't know why these girls don't do it the old-fashioned way.
Oh, no.
All
You did not just say that.
You go to a home for unwed mothers, skateboard on a hayride with a nun.
I don't know.
I have no idea what that was.
Something about a nun?
Yeah, something about a nun.
I don't want to know.
Well,
This is a very
can,
really want to know.
we can fill it in from there, Squirt. Thank you. Alrighty.
Oh, no. That was terrible.
Yeah. Okay, well.
No, with that lovely note.
But it is nice to hear from Squirt. All right, so.
Is it really?
Yes. All right, so Liz is going to be taking off. Eric, it sounds like, is going to be taking off. But we're going to take a break. So thank you both. And this is Roger Stone's Civil War by Gnostic Gorilla. Very topical for the times here on Matt Connarton Unleashed.
Crawling out from beneath the light, camera eye and candy red. Andy Warhol knows the night, judgment from the living dead. History will be our hall when fascists the cloud.
Here's the story of a shameless grifter and the con men who were running his campaign. They were sucking on the teat of Mother Russia and also of Ukraine. It's the story of a guy named Putin who was rigging the electoral outcome, sending agents from the GRU to say, GRU dumb. Then these agents met with Manafort and Sessions, Carter Page and Roger Stone and Michael Flynn, Jared Kushner and Donald Jr. Now what debauched they're in. Yeah, they're saying Papadopoulos will topple us, and Robert Mueller will have us all for lunch. Oh, but he is not inviting, he's indicting. That's the way they all became the Shady Bunch. The Shady Bunch. The Shady Bunch. That's the way they became the Shady Bunch. In a way, even Trump can't counterpunch.
Government shutdowns have consequences, and now we have a better idea of how much the longest one in U.S. history cost. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office released its estimated impact of the 35-day shutdown. It says the country's GDP took a $3 billion hit in the final weeks of 2018, and the GDP for the first quarter of 2019 is expected to be $8 billion lower. Three main categories impacted our country's GDP: services that federal employees couldn't provide, decreased federal spending, and lower consumer spending at private businesses. The agency didn't take into account what it calls indirect negative effects that are harder to put a number on. That includes things like the impact to a business that couldn't get a federal permit or someone who couldn't access a federal loan. The CBO says most of those losses will eventually be recovered, but the agency thinks about $3 billion is permanently gone. But these are just estimates. The CBO said its report is subject to considerable uncertainty because of the unavailability of some data and changes that happened during the shutdown.
Very, very large brain. He said, Donald Trump, they don't know what to do. Never happened.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed in the afternoon as we cruise into our final half hour here on WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester. 603-250-6007 is the number. Of course, we're also on channel 97 Comcast on at WMNHradio.org and on Facebook via Facebook Live on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Jenny is here as well.
Hello, hello.
Let's see. I see Kristen Cunard in the Facebook live chat. She says, "Hi, Matt and
Hi,
Jenny." Cece. And then I just see. Oh, and Ed Murphy is in there as well. Hello, Ed. I very often see him in there. So Liz took off, and so did Eric Gagnon. Of course, Eric Gagnon has to prepare because tomorrow morning he's got to fight for his position as entertainment reporter.
I can't believe they're making him fight.
I know. Yes.
Terrible. See, we wouldn't do that. We would take them both.
Right.
We wouldn't be that. We wouldn't make one or the other. Mm-mm.
No, actually, I'd like to see them maybe arm wrestle.
Oh.
I think that would be exciting.
I think it'd be more fun if they were mud wrestling.
I really don't want to see that. Do you?
I think it'd be fun.
All right. Well, okay. I don't really want to see.
They could do it fully clothed. I just think it'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. I don't think we're zoned for that.
No, maybe we can use Jell-O.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Elizabeth said use Jell-O.
Right. You can use Jell-O.
Okay.
It's not mud.
Right. As long as it's Jell-O.
Yes.
Raspberry? I like raspberry.
Oh, sure.
Can I pick the flavor?
Yeah, well, it can be raspberry.
Okay.
TheHill.com is reporting that Sarah Sanders today, she actually had a press briefing, first one in a while. Apparently, she's been dodging the question about a pardon for Roger Stone.
Why are we talking about this before there's actually anything to pardon?
Well, he has been indicted.
An indictment is not guilt. An indictment means you are charged with a crime that has to be proven in a court of law as to whether you're innocent or guilty. Once he's been found guilty, then you can start talking about a pardon. But aren't we kind of jumping the shark?
Well, maybe, Trump doesn't want to put Roger through that. I mean,
I don't think he has a say. And I think he just found that out.
Who, Trump?
Yes.
Well, of course he has a say. He can pardon him.
He might have a say in a pardon, but he doesn't have a say in what's going on right now.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's Paul Manafort Jr.
Paul Manafort Jr. My goodness. Now, are you calling from prison?
No, I'm his son.
Oh, you're his son. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been detailed to keep an eye on you.
To keep an eye on me specifically?
Did MC Hammer send you?
And that radical girl with you.
I'm a radical now.
Wow.
I've been called a lot of interesting names lately. I got called a Democrat this morning, remember?
Yes.
Which was funny.
Now, Jerry Ford pardoned Nixon before any conviction.
Right.
So,
yes.
There you go. I win.
All right. Well, thank you, Paul Manafort Jr. That was very exciting. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
We heard from Squirt. We heard from Paul Manafort Jr. That's amazing.
You are quite the popular person today.
I know. Fred Bonig from thedailyripple.org just posted something. I'm going to click that link in the Facebook live chat. Fred always has good stuff for us.
Oh, he's got something raspberry for me.
It's a raspberry, yes.
He's blowing a raspberry at me.
Oh, my goodness. And I as well.
Isn't that cute?
So when he said here's a raspberry, he meant it quite literally.
Yes,
well,
he did.
not literally, because it's not literally a raspberry, but it is a raspberry. It's not literally a raspberry. The fruit. Would it be a fruit? Is it?
There's your raspberry back, Fred.
Right.
Right back at you.
Apparently, John Roberts of Fox News snuck in a joke about a tweet that President Trump tweeted about him late Sunday. You know, it's always interesting when Fox News is at odds with the administration. Here's the clip. This is from Mediaite, which means there's probably an ad that'll play first, but not necessarily. Yes, there is. It says, during the first White House press briefing of 2019, Fox News chief White House correspondent John Roberts snuck in a joke about a tweet the president said about him. Says, since I know so little about this, let me ask you a couple of questions and see if I can educate myself, Roberts said when he was called on by White House Chief Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who then replied, at least we can agree on something. And I assume that she said it in her normal, humorless way. Here, let's listen.
Identified the fact that we have a problem and we should fix our immigration system. If Democrats want to get serious about fixing that, they have a president that's more than happy to sit down with them and do exactly that. John?
Since I know so little about this, let me ask you a couple of questions to see if I can educate myself.
At least we're in agreement on something.
Senator Joe Manchin said yesterday that if the president were to move further on DACA and offer at least a path to status, if not a path to citizenship, he'd likely get more Democrats to come to his idea about the need for a border barrier. The president has been resistant to going any further than offering 3 years of more protections. What's the reason why the president doesn't believe that DACA recipients should have a path to status?
Again, I'm not going to negotiate up here. That's the reason that they're going into conference.
Why he doesn't believe that they deserve or should have a path to status?
Again, I'm not going to get into negotiating immigration reform up here. That's why we have the conference. That's why the president has asked that that take place over these 3 weeks, whether or not that happens during this time or after. The focus of this right now is border security. We'd like to see that happen. And the president would love to deal with the overall problem of illegal immigration, fixing a number of the loopholes that would prevent some of those things from happening so that we can move forward with a system that actually works and functions. Sarah. And congratulations.
All right. So, what's this? I think we have some breaking news. Acting AG Matt Whitaker says Mueller's investigation is close to being completed.
Well,
we are near the ending. I'm excited because as much as I've been enjoying all this and it's great for the show, as I often say, this whole thing is like a really engrossing book that I'm dying to skip to the end of to see how it ends. But I can't.
No, you never skip. You don't tell people to do that.
No, I'm not. I would not encourage anyone.
You
I mean,
say that in front of me. You know
everyone,
I'm writing on a book and you're doing this.
Everyone has free will, but I would have a hard time resisting.
I guess I'm not going to let you see the manuscript.
No, because I'll skip.
Now, since you have received your brief.
Whoops. I'll skip right to the last page.
Ugh, you're terrible.
Here, let's see. Here's this
You're
is.
the guy that like wants to see the end of the movie before it comes.
Well, it depends.
You don't want to wait for it,
right?
Yeah, that's you.
All right, let's hear what he had to say. He was asked about. It looks like he's speaking at where is he speaking? I don't know. He was speaking somewhere official today. There's an official seal behind him, the Department of Justice, I guess. And here's what he had to say. Oh, now it won't play.
Now, since
There we
you
go.
have received your briefings, is there anything that you've seen or read that gives you concern about Special Counsel Robert Mueller or his investigation?
You know, I've been fully briefed on the investigation, and you know, I look forward to Director Mueller delivering the final report. And I really am not going to talk about open and ongoing investigation otherwise, but you know, sort of the statements that I made were as a private citizen, only with publicly available information. And I am comfortable that the decisions that were made are going to be reviewed, you know, either through the various means we have. But right now, you know, the investigation is, I think, close to being completed, and I hope that we can get the report from Director Mueller as soon as possible.
Of course, as tantalizing as that sounds,
It's going to be interesting to see when they come out with that, because we know that there are other sealed indictments. We don't know who they are.
right. And close to being completed is, of course, vague, and I mean, close could mean 6 months from now. It could mean 6 days.
I'd say close is probably going to be within the 6 months.
It could mean
but
6
I think
minutes.
there's going to be more people indicted.
How great would that be?
6 isn't it? There's going to be more.
6 minutes. That's my prediction.
No, 6 people. Oi, now you're messing me up.
In 6 seconds, we're going to have breaking news that the report's done. It's going to be great.
Well, did you talk about Venezuela?
Well, I did mention earlier John Bolton's very frightening mustache was at a podium making some sort of statement about it. Scott, I believe, is the name of the mustache.
About, you goof.
Oh, what? Is there something new on Venezuela?
There is. There's more. There's sanctions, as you talked about. You alluded to before. You
Just
expected to
nuke
see-
them and get it over with.
You knew that was gonna. You knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about it before. And sure enough, yes, we are establishing sanctions against Venezuela.
Okay.
I can't find the article, so I can't tell you more than that.
Mm.
But I did see that.
Yes.
So that's all I'm giving you.
Okay.
Find out the rest yourself.
No, that's fine. I mean, I haven't been following that particular story
Well,
that
I thought
closely.
you followed all breaking news.
Well, it's difficult
What's
to
up?
follow all breaking news. There's so much breaking
Really?
news breaking at any given moment. It's
Really?
There's a lot of breakage every day. It's
Don't
amazing.
be breaking things.
It's amazing.
I need you in complete pieces.
I did
Not-
break
not-
the news
no
earlier
breaking.
about Pelosi. If you're just joining us, Pelosi has invited Trump to give his State of the Union.
She's graciously going to allow
on
the president
February
to give the
5th.
State of the Union. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
There also appears to be an update on Michael Cohen and his looming opportunity to testify.
Says who?
The Hill is reporting Cohen to testify at House Intel behind closed doors. When they get behind closed doors.
No.
Cohen has agreed to testify before the House Intelligence Committee in February, according to Adam Schiff, Democrat of California.
What will he add?
Schiff announced Monday this evening, so it's official, that Cohen, who has been cooperating with Mueller's Russia investigation, would appear for closed testimony before the committee on February 8th. So Schiff has signaled an interest in bringing Cohen back before the committee as part of its own investigation, into Russian interference and potential coordination between the Trump campaign and Moscow. The GOP-led panel shuttered its probe last year, but Schiff is reviving it now that Democrats have the majority in the lower chamber. This news comes just days after Cohen postponed scheduled testimony before the House Oversight Committee, citing ongoing threats from Trump and his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Trump has suggested in an earlier interview with Fox News Cohen should, quote, give information maybe on his father-in-law because that's the one that people want to look at, unquote, which many people, took as Trump directly threatening Cohen's father-in-law. So
When did they flip you? Tell me.
Don't lie.
Reminding people of a particular scene in is it The Godfather 2?
Not sure.
Um,
Did you see that there's a couple of senators, Blumenthal and Grassley. Grassley's a Republican from Iowa, and Blumenthal's a Democrat from Connecticut. They introduced a bipartisan bill in the Senate to require that the report from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russian probe, as well as the Justice Department special counsels, be released to the public once the investigation has ended. I support that.
Yes, well, it would be terribly disappointing if the information, because that's something some people have expressed a concern about. We might not get to see the final report.
Well, they said Blumenthal was quoted as saying a special counsel is appointed only in very rare situations, serious circumstances involving grave violation of public trust. The public has a right and need to know the facts of such betrayals of public trust. And Grassley added that requiring a public report would provide oversight of and insight into the activities of a special counsel probe, which I think would be very good for us as the public to be privy to that. I mean, you want to take the mystery out of government, show people what you're doing. You want to fuel more of the conspiracy theorists. Well, there you go. Keep it a secret.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There was something. Oh.
Did I tell you I was going to have prizes? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and...
Well, should I tell them or should I wait until I get them?
I should probably wait.
Yeah, there's going to be giveaways, but you're going to have to wait and hear what they are.
Very exciting.
Has to do with my newly appointed stuff.
Yes.
Yes, the Writing Mad Woman.
The Writing Mad Woman?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, no, fan. I'm a fangirl.
A fan of what?
Knives.
I'm confused. Oh, okay.
I'm going to be writing for Auto Knife magazine.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
very good.
Thank you. They were impressed with my work with Blade TV and American Knife and Tool Institute and said, come on board. I said, yay.
Excellent.
It's a labor of love.
Yes.
And I can do it from home.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah. So did you fix your computer over there? Or are you still mucking around with it?
No, I see what you were talking about earlier. U.S. announces, this is from the Hill, new sanctions against Venezuela's
yeah, that's the one that I had seen.
state-owned oil
I couldn't
company.
remember all of it.
Yeah, the administration today announced new sanctions against Venezuela's state-owned oil company, ramping up pressure on Maduro to give up power. National Security Advisor John Bolton and his very strange mustache told reporters at the White House that the sanctions on Petróleos de Venezuela will target $7 billion in assets and could result in $11 billion in lost sales over the next year. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin described the state-owned company as a vehicle for embezzlement and corruption and argued the sanctions would further pressure Maduro to cede power. Mnuchin said, quote, the United States is holding accountable those responsible for Venezuela's tragic decline. We will continue the use of our diplomatic and economic tools to support interim President, I'm not sure how you say this, Guaido, the national security and the Venezuelan people's efforts to restore their democracy, unquote. Mnuchin said he does not expect Americans to see an impact on gas prices and that U.S. refineries will see only modest impacts from the sanctions. The move comes less than a week after Trump recognized Guaido, the leader of the Venezuelan National Assembly, as the country's interim president. Numerous other nations have done the same, including Canada, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and Colombia. There's a little bit more to that, but it gets a little...
I get some good news.
Into the weeds, yeah?
Yeah, the Jerusalem Post is reporting that a team of Israeli scientists think they have actually found the cure for cancer. They believe that they will be able to offer in a 1 year's time a complete cure for cancer. Dan Arito, a new treatment being developed by his company, Accelerated Evolution Biotechnologies, which was founded in 2000 in the ITEK incubator in the West Mines Science Park. AEBI developed the SOAP platform, which provides functional leads to very different targets. Our cancer cure will be effective from day one. We will last a duration of a few weeks and will have no or minimal side effects at a much lower cost than most other treatments on the market. Reuters said other solutions will be both generic and personal. It sounds like it's a fantasy, and especially when you think about that there is an estimated 18.1 million new cancer cases diagnosed worldwide every year, according to reports from the International Agency on Research on Cancer. Further, every 6 deaths in the world is due to cancer, making it the second leading cause of death, second only to cardiovascular disease in the world. This is a potential game changer. This anti-cancer drug could literally change the face of medical treatment. This is amazing. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. They're actually working with DNA coding and proteins, antibodies and things like viruses, bacteria, things of that nature to be able to basically treat. And they also have a team of Nobel Prize winning scientists that are working on this. So let's all hope and pray that they're successful. Maybe that's the first good news that we have heard in a long time on the front to battle to fight cancer.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it pans out.
Well, the news was listed today out of the Jerusalem Post, if anybody wants to look it up. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
And then I'm always skeptical that, even if it's legitimate, that once the insurance companies get involved, they'll make sure it's so expensive that only very rich people can actually
you mean
afford
like my
it.
infusion therapy? Nah, that won't happen. Really? Yeah, I know. Seriously. Well, maybe where it's not being found. Well, you know what's going to happen, though? This is what happens. Stuff like this gets done in other countries. And here in the U.S., we wait decades for that to get out to our public. There's a treatment for RSD in Italy right now. And it's been being used to treat RSD for 7-8 years now. And here in the United States, you can only get access to that medication through a drug trial. And it, of course, is not covered.
Right.
And getting into a drug trial is very hard. Very, very hard. It's not easy.
We're almost out of time, and apparently, so it looks like I have something to play at the end of the show that I was not expecting. This is strange, but Mediaite has, it says, last vestige of a scoundrel, broke Milo Yiannopoulos has released a gospel song. Former Breitbart senior editor Milo Yiannopoulos wants you to know perhaps he may have run out of all his Mercer endowment funds, but that doesn't mean he isn't still rich. Yiannopoulos' new single track, Silver and Gold, gospels Jesus as his true desire on this earth in place of fame and wealth. The chorus of the song begins something like this: silver and gold, I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. No fame or fortune, no riches untold, I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. Very nice. So we'll have to, it's only 3.5 minutes long, so we'll hold off a minute on playing that, but I look forward to it. I had no idea
Maybe
that
it's got a nice ring to it.
I didn't know that he was a crooner. I think that's very nice.
I didn't either. You never know, right? Can you croon?
No.
You get a croon for me. Come on. Give me a croon.
It also says here, because there's a video for it, it says featuring a slideshow of random acts of glamour, such as Milo posing above in his real flag wrapped in a snake, Milo giving a speech in drag while drinking champagne, and Milo spending almost $8,000 at a bar in one shot. The music video praises Jesus for being the only one there for him when his best friends weren't. But,
oh, come on.
But just give me a savior, my life can behold. Oh, my life he can hold, rather, he sings, as the video cuts to a photo of him kissing President Donald Trump's Hollywood sign. Despite the ex-Breitbart editor's rise to fame as an ardent Trump supporter in 2016, he actually calls him daddy. He vowed to cheer impeachment. Yes, he refers to him as daddy. He vowed to cheer impeachment should Trump not follow through on building a U.S.-Mexican border wall. He wrote on Instagram, quote, "If Trump reneges on the wall, I will be in the front row cheering on his impeachment." Banned from Twitter and shunned by the mainstream media world for almost 3 years now, he's been deplatformed, as they say. Milo has been rather active on his other social media pages lately, posting a photo of himself together with Roger Stone in solidarity over the weekend and joking about the layoffs of several dozen BuzzFeed writers. What's that? Layoffs at BuzzFeed? I don't care, he captioned. Other noteworthy parts of the video include dancing women in burqas, presumably a callback to his CPAC book party 2 years ago. Milo crashing a rally and kissing himself in the mirror. The video ends with an announcement that Milo is set to return in some fashion this spring. Very exciting. So as he perhaps is turning away from Trump, he is turning to Jesus, which I thought the two were kind of went together. That was my impression.
Can we not do that? Let's not do that.
What? Do what?
No, let's not dirty people's religions.
Well, the evangelicals love
politics
Trump.
like that.
They love Trump.
Not all of them.
Well, not all. Most of them, I think. The evangelicals.
Yeah, probably.
It's like, when Liz made that comment, she doesn't understand why the evangelicals love Trump. I always say, my theory is it's because they've been conditioned decades of turning on the television on Sunday morning and seeing a con man in an expensive suit and being told this is the way to heaven.
Well, and quite frankly, in this day and age, doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. They come on in both ilks.
What does?
I forget. I lost it. It went away.
Oh, I don't know.
There went the RSD. Bye.
Okay.
I have no idea where I was going with that. I really don't.
But I say good for Milo. I think this is going to really help him.
I choked. It's terrible.
Well, that happens.
It's terrible. I'm so sorry.
It
I didn't
happens.
mean to.
Well, I think when you listen to Milo Yiannopoulos' new single, Silver and Gold, you'll feel much better.
Okay.
Although
You
it is
gonna
about
play it for
Jesus,
me?
and
I'm Jewish.
Yeah. So I guess
You're trying to convert me now?
So actually,
What are you doing?
This
You're so mean.
This could be taken as a form of I never can say this word correctly. Proselytize? No, that's not.
Proselytizing?
Prostel.
I love listening to you try and say it.
Proselytize.
Say it three. I want to say it. Say it 5 times fast.
Actually, we have a call. Perhaps this is Milo Yiannopoulos calling to talk about his new single, Silver and Gold. Hello, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed.
Hey, Matt, it's Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
Oh no.
You're out on bail. It's good to hear from you. What's happening?
Where's Hoppy?
Well, I hope that I hope that your friend Hoppy hasn't been swept up in the Mueller probe. I know that you guys are besties.
He does talk about court
Hey,
often.
your girlfriend says she wants a song.
Wants what?
You want a song?
A song?
I think he wants a song. Want music?
You want? Do you want to hear Milo Yiannopoulos, Silver and Gold?
Hey, I'm going to sing a song.
Oh, you're going to sing a song. Oh, go ahead.
There's got to be a morning after.
Oh God, I'm gonna die.
If we can hold on through the night.
I didn't know you were such a crooner.
We have a chance to find the sunshine.
Oh God.
Let's keep on looking for the light. Hey, how do you like that?
That's
Very
beautiful.
good. Yes, very good. Yes,
That's
yes,
wonderful.
very
Yes.
good.
Wow.
Thanks. Up yours with your sarcasm.
Oh my goodness.
That was awesome.
We would never be sarcastic, Roger Stone. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
Well, now, Mr. Connarton, what have you been up to lately?
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. We're going to listen to this. I'm dying to hear this new Milo Yiannopoulos track. So thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Thank you to Liz Ropp for stopping in. Eric Gagnon.
Did you just call her Rappa?
No.
Yeah, you did.
I said Ropp for stopping in.
Nah, you sounded like you said her name wrong.
I don't think so.
What is with you today?
No, I'm just excited to hear this. All right, if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. And here it is. This is the new single from Milo Yiannopoulos, Silver and Gold.
Bye-bye.
Whoops, if it'll play. Here we go.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Savior. My life he can hold. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold.
It's the rematch between Sergey Kovalev and Aledir Alvarez.
Whoops, the song stopped. Sorry, I was playing that from the video. Oh, here it is. It's you know what? Forget it. Apparently, he really can sing, but the video was interrupted. So I don't know what happened, but I guess we won't get to hear any more of Milo Yiannopoulos, Silver and Gold. So we'll end the rest of the show in a more traditional way. All right, talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
You are listening to WMNHLP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studio